Hey guys, back in the garage again. Well, we're off the water. I hope you enjoyed that trip. I had an awesome time with my brother. It was just a really good experience. It was a great experience. So I hope you enjoyed some of the scenery. So now back in the garage working on Lucky. Game plan for today, I'm going to finish up the bodywork. I'm going to touch it up. I'm going to touch this up, down over there. There's a few things that I have to touch up, not much at all. But I'll just keep plugging away today. And oh, another thing, my son, while we were out on the water, my son went and picked up a hood because this one's no good. It's just got very deep, like kind of rust holes, I guess almost, to the point to where it's just could be fixed probably, but it's just I think it's just going to be something that my fingers are crossed that those rust holes don't come back in that spot. They shouldn't, but I felt it needed more work than what it was really worth. So I hunted around and I found an original hood. Like I say, I always try to use original if I can. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with aftermarket, but I've yet to find an aftermarket part that I could actually throw in a car and say, hey, I love the way it sits or the way it looks. They're not perfect, so I'd rather just get original and work that. If it needs a little bit of work, I'd rather do a little bit of work because the fit's going to be nicer. So, and I picked up an air longboard, and I figured let me give it a try. I see a lot of guys use it, so I'm old school. I do it by hand. So if it could save me a little time and still come out just as nice as doing it by hand, then I'm in. So I just wanted to kind of get this car to the point to where now when it goes to the body shop, they have even less work to do, and hopefully we'll get it back even sooner while we're waiting for Callie. Callie might even be done, but I was so busy. It's just been a crazy week. Callie might be done, and I was going to stop by Joe's on the way, while I was out, because when I went to Harbor Freight to go grab my little air sander, we'll see how good it works. My buddy said he got his from Harbor Freight. He said it worked fine, so we'll see. But I'm hoping that we'll be swapping these cars out at the beginning of next week. And I'm still looking into that 69 Rally Sport. I'm still trying to work out a deal with the gentleman, and we'll see what happens. Because it needs a lot of work, but they all do. These old cars all need a lot of work, but it's good in all the right places. So we'll see what happens with that. But I'll definitely keep you guys posted on what's going on with that 69 Rally Sport and see where we're going with that. But you know me, I could babble all day. Let's get into this, okay? Here we go. I'll show you that hood. My new air tool. All right. I figured let me give this a try. And it's crazy because I had one years ago and I never used it. Let's see. This is it right here. Also grab some more fittings. Just stuff that we need in here just to get things done. Okay. Give me a minute. I'm going to put this stuff away. Then I'm going to pull the hood out of the back of the truck. I just need to put this down. All right. Try to protect. Really just doing this to kind of protect the fenders. Okay. Where's my son when I need him? Okay. Alrighty. Oh boy. This isn't good. Remember, all back, no legs, all back. Something like that. Oh my gosh. I'm making it worse than what it really is. This thing really isn't that heavy, honestly. So, I should have taken this off before I put it on. Let me fix this. Everything's a ½ inch on these cars. ½ inch or smaller. It's crazy. looks like 5/8. This is the lock right here. I guess the first lock, or actually, I think that's the primary lock, and then you have a safety lock, like a secondary. Let me see if. Oh wow, that was right on the first one. Oh God! Look at that. I'll show you in a second what I'm fighting with. Not fighting with it, honestly. But it's just... This, I believe, is secondary. Secondary latch? I'm not sure. I'll look when I open this hood. Because usually everything has a double lock. And I'll show you. All right. This is either the primary or the secondary or something like that. But you'll see whenever you unlock a hood, it's got one release. Well, this isn't going to pop up unless I push it up. Like right now. All right, so this is the safety latch right here, this bar. And then there's another piece right in here. So it's kind of like it's just a safety. If the first latch doesn't grab it, hopefully the second one will grab it before the hood blows over into the windshield, cracks the windshield, dents up the roof of the car and stuff. So, but I think this hood right here, it's dirty, but it's clean. I like how clean it is. So, game plan today, we're gonna sand that down too. All right. So let me just get my little tool together. I'm going to give it a try. I just want to see how it works. All righty? Give me a minute. I'll be right back. All right, guys. I'm going to shift gears for a second. I wanted to sand this down, but what I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to just hit this really quick with some filler. Just skim it. You know, anything that I missed, this up over here, down in there, you know, maybe down over there. Just a few light areas that I missed. And while that's drying, that's when I'll take care of that hood. I have to pull the front Ford emblems off and stuff like that. And it seems like a really clean hood. You know, but we'll see. I'm going to hit it with the DA. I'm going to take it down. Maybe not down to bare, but I'm going to take a lot of it off. And then I'll let Joe take the rest of it off. I just want to see how good this hood is. Or isn't, you know, but I think it's going to be pretty good. So this is what I'm going to do. Hold on. I'm thinking we'll just hit it with some body filler really, really quick. And then we'll move on to that. And then, I have to, I missed that door, the spot on that door on the other side. So we'll hit that also. I just want to button up any, like, little things that we might have missed. And like I say, you know, it's really, it's going to go to, I got this all over me. It's going to go over to the body shop. So there's a lot of things, you know, and there was a gentleman that commented. He's like, hey, Al, you should really pull the trunk deck off and, you know, just clean up where the trunk seal went around. And, you know, and you're 100% right. But like I said, I think I actually sent the comment back to you. You know, it's going to a body shop. So, you know, let them do something, you know. They're going to take all that off anyway. They're going to take the doors off this car, the trunk. They're going to take all that off of here. So, you know, this car should look, I think the car is going to look very nice, especially in the color. He's going to keep it the original dark green, and I like it. I like that color a lot. When that color is new and shiny, wow, it looks so good. So, I'm very partial. I'm sure you know, me and my brother were very partial towards black cars. You know, his Camaro. You know, that's actually, I called it a Rally Sport. It's actually a Super Sport with the Rally Sport option on it. With the hideaway headlights and everything like that. And that car is all original. That car's all original panels on it. It's pretty crazy. That car is very, very clean. I found that car, oh my gosh. I found that car in New Jersey years and years ago, when Craigslist was popular. I found it on Craigslist, and it had this Starsky and Hutch stripe down the side. It looked hideous. And you know, that car, it was for sale. It's got to be probably about a month, and nobody bought it. And I was shocked because I looked past that Starsky and the car was black with this silver Starsky and Hutch stripe. I have to say, it looked terrible. And I think that's what was turning people off to that car, and they really didn't look through the forest, because that car was so clean and straight. It was amazing. I think if people would have dug into the bones of that car, they would have been like, wow, that car was just super clean. So I went to buy that car, and my brother saw it, and he's like, I like it, I want to buy it. And I said, okay, you know, this is what I paid for it. Pay the gentleman, let's get out of here. You know, me, I love to find things. To me, it's like finding a little golden nugget, I guess. So, and I always say too, you know, it's like I purchased so many cars, and my friends are like, hey, Al, I really like that car, something like that. I'm like, all right, this is what I paid for it. If you want to pay for the gas, pay for the gas. You don't have to make money on every car. You really don't. So that's how I am anyway. But what do you say we hit this Bodywork? This way we could tackle that hood and then clean up whatever we got to clean up in the trunk, and then just go around and touch up this car. Okay, here we go. All right, so I went around, I skimmed a lot of the little stuff that I missed, like in here. I'll still take that down. This right here, I missed it. I'll add that as soon as I'm done with this. I'm just gonna mix it up really quick, and I'll skim that really quick right there. This way we could start on this. So I'm gonna cheat a little bit, and I'm gonna hit that right now, because it's staring me right in the face. How did I miss that? Oh well, but I'm gonna hit that right now, and I'm just gonna fast forward through this, and this way we can hit that hood, okay? Here we go. Like I was saying, I skimmed all this right here. Didn't miss anything now. So while that's drying, oh, I got this too. Let me see if I miss anything over here. I'm pretty sure I got everything. That door right there, there's a crease in there, so I'll sand all that down. There was a crease right here. Same thing on the bottom right there. So I'm just going to sand this down. Anything that we hit. But while this is drying, now I want to hit that hood and just see how it is. It looked pretty good from what I saw. So we'll hit it really fast and we'll take a look, and I think we're going to be happy with it. Here we go. Whoa. I don't think this is going to be bad at all. I mean, it's coming off nice. There's a couple of scratches here and there, but there's nothing on this hood that's screaming at me. It looks pretty straight. So let's see. Wow. I'm pretty happy with this hood. From what I see so far, I'm trying to hit the worst spots first. And they're not bad at all. Oh. You guys okay? Sorry, I knocked you over. I broke my mic, the piece that goes on the phone, but I have another one, so yeah, as soon as I pull the air line, you guys hit the ground. Sorry about that. But I got to show you here. I got to tell you, it's really just scratches. So I'm not even going to bother. I was just trying to hit the spots that I thought that were going to be bad, and they're not bad at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop off the Ford emblems, and I'm just going to see like a little bit right here. I want to take a look, a little bit right there. But I don't see anything else that stands out. Everything else looks so nice and clean. It doesn't look bad at all. I'm actually really happy with this hood. Like I said, I love to keep original if I can, and this is a perfect hood to keep. So I'm going to just pop these emblems off and just keep going at it with the DA for a little bit. And, probably, not long, maybe like 5 minutes or so. And that should give us enough time for all that filler to dry. So we'll see. Here we go. I'm going to try to get these off, these emblems. They should pop. They're like pressed in. These things should pop right out. Again, something I should have never said. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They come right out. Here we go. Grab these. Put these in the bucket. Now we're just going to hit this real quick. I want to just see this. I'm happy with this hood. I really am. I was just trying to hit all the bad spots. And just hitting those bad spots just shows me that shiny metal right there. Not bad. Let me get this off. Oh, it's going to get dusty. Yeah, that's a good hit. Super happy. Oh. Super happy with this hood. It's still dirty. It's very dirty. It's more dirty than anything. I just wanted to hit. There were certain spots that I saw that looked like deep scratches. And I wanted to see how deep they were, but they weren't bad at all. So I'm going to let Joe's guys finish sanding that down to metal. And as soon as this compressor stops, this should be dry. Oh yeah, that's dry. So we're going to sand that down. Oh, this is what I got. Oh, yeah, that compressor's loud. This is what I got. We'll see how it works. My buddy has one. He's like, oh, it works pretty good. He's like, it's a little noisy, but you know, the DA is, I mean, it can't be any noisier than a compressor, I guess. So I just want to hit this. I'm going to try that longboard because normally this is what I use. Guys say I'm old school. It's what I normally use. We'll see how that other one works. I might love it. I might hate it. We'll see. But I think today should wrap Lucky up, I think. I think after today, we'll have Lucky all said and done. Just sitting and waiting to get over to Joe's. All right, so we'll see what happens. Let me set this up, and we'll get started. Here we go. All right, you know what I'm thinking? I'm going to roll this car forward so this pole's not in the way, so we can hit this quarter panel. All right, so give me a minute. Let me move this car forward. Should roll fairly easy. Oh, yeah. That rolls good now. Oh. We'll hit this really, really fast. Nothing crazy. It's not a lot. You know what? Let me bring you guys over here. Let's try this new toy. I see all these body guys have them, so I guess they're not too bad. I gotta tell you, it pushes and pulls and pushes and pulls. Let's see. Hold on. 1 minute. Should have done this before. All right, I gotta say, I'm a fan of that tool. I'm not saying the brand. You can get any brand, I guess. It's just, I was over at the store and I'm like, let me try this. Everybody seems to like it. And I have to say, it really works well. It really does. I mean, I have a few little spots here and there, and I should have known because I see the low spots right there and there. I should have known. But I'm going to bang those out. I'm going to just hit them really quick. And that longboard, I tell you, that thing works very, very. It removes a lot of material very quickly, and it gets the car very straight. This quarter panel, I got to tell you, it was really bad. It just had a million little dents in it, and it's going to look pretty straight. I think with this next coat that I put on now, even if I would have dropped it off at Joe's and they missed it, I think the car would still be straight enough to paint. Well, maybe I don't know, but I think it would be honestly, because there's very, very little there. And I know when you seal them and then you prime them and then you put a dust coat on it and you sand it down. I know you're going to find more, but very, very minimal on this car. So we'll see. I'm going to give it a try. So I have a few spots here and there, just a couple of spots, here and here, over there, couple here, and on this side, I have just a couple, very few here, 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 couple here, along here. It's a little bit of a dip right here, so I'm going to longboard this out, and it might be enough, but I'm still going to hit it anyway, and I'll just pull it off as I need to. A little low spot right here, here and here and here. Oh, I did this also because there was just dents everywhere on this roof. So that and that right there, a little spot here and here, I got to fix. But I got to tell you, this car is really, really I'm not gonna. If you're gonna work on a car, if any car you're gonna work on or anything like that, out of all the cars that I've worked on, this was probably one of the most simplest, cleanest ones that I've done in a long time. I've done clean cars, but this one's just surprise. Let me show you. I'm going to tell you why I'm going to show you why I'm geeking out on this. All right, this is what I'm used to when I work on these cars. This. It's just that's why I'm geeking out over this because this car right here, this is normally what they're like. This car right here is unusual, but in a great way. So, I'm so glad that you approached me, Glenn, with this car because I wouldn't have the opportunity to see how clean these cars can actually be. And I'm not saying that this car is cherry mint, but it's just out of a car that hasn't been restored and hasn't been touched since the 80s. I gotta say, it's not bad. So, like I say, I could babble all day long. What I want to do is I just want to hit those little spots right there, use my new tool, and then this car will be done. So we'll see. Alrighty. Like I say, enough babbling. Let's get this done. All right. Hopefully this will be the last little skim coat. Like I say, it's going to the body shop. They're going to do it. Everybody's like, oh, why are you doing that? It's going to go to body shop. It just gets it back quicker. And I'm confident enough with a little bit of skill that I know that I can get it pretty straight. So we'll hit this really. Ugh, boy, I just make a mess with this stuff. It gets all over me. All right, so we got the passenger side all skimmed out. The stuff that I missed. So I just ran out of filler. But I have a little bit left in here, actually. Actually, I have another gallon up there. But I just want to mix the rest of it. Let me see how much I'm going to need. Hold on. This needs very little. So we'll just finish off this can right here. There's something I want to thank you guys for taking that ride with me and my brother. We bought that boat up from down by Virginia Beach, I guess, and we took it on the ocean side all the way up to New York, Long Island. And I got to tell you, that boat ran beautifully. It really did. You know, I got a couple comments, actually. There was a gentleman, you know, because we were stopping and getting gas, but we were motoring. We were moving at a pretty decent clip. It was rough. The second day, the morning of the second day was rough. But, you know, I had gotten a comment from a gentleman. He's like, hey, Al, you know, it seems to be using a lot of fuel. Why is that? Excuse me. I think he said, you know, it's using a lot of fuel. Why is that with 5.7 liter motors? You're 100% right. If that had the 5.7 liter motors in it, you're right. It was a lot of fuel. But that thing had twin big blocks in it, cruising at about 38 miles an hour. You know, so that thing will drink. It loves fuel. It's definitely got a drinking problem. But it's just a beautiful boat. It really is. So the story with that boat was my brother wanted to look at the boat last year. And you remember when Florida had this, I guess sometime last year, Florida had the storms. So the gentleman pulled the boat out of the water. He said, listen, I'm not going to show the boat to anybody. I'm going to take the boat out of the water because he wanted to make sure nothing happened to it. So, and that's how, I got to tell you, that boat, he took beautiful care of that boat. So he told my brother, listen, next year you'll be the first person that I call. So hold on, let me just bring you guys over here. Let me put you right there. Hopefully I get this. Okay. So the gentleman told my brother, you'll be the first person that I call when I put it back up for sale. And sure enough, you know, he called my brother, and you know, and just over time they were talking, and they were talking. And then if anybody knows my brother, he immediately, if you know him, he becomes like your best friend. He's just such a great person. And I'm not saying it because he's my brother. He's just such a great person. He really is. You know, he doesn't take any BS, but he'll be the first person to help you. So the gentleman, you know, he became fond of my brother just talking to him and everything like that, which was really nice. So my brother goes down there. My brother flew down there, I believe 2 or 3 times. But one of the times when we went down there was it's got the props under the boat. I forgot what it's called. I'm sorry. But the shafts were leaking. So the gentleman changed the shafts. He's like, I want to make sure that this boat, when you come and look at it, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be ready to go. So, you know, and that's just the type of person the gentleman was. You know, he's just a nice guy. So my brother goes down there 3 times. Finally, my brother buys it. He asked me if I want to take a ride down there with him to go get it because they wanted a lot of money to ship it. And I told my brother, I said, you got to be crazy. This is an experience that you'll never forget. I said, let's just bring it back. You know, we'll drive it back. You know, it can't be that hard. So that's what we ended up doing. We ended up bringing the boat back. I gotta tell you, the second day, the first day we started coming back, wow, I can't believe I can't get this right here. Oh my gosh, come on. This, I guess, this is kind of the reason I can't chew gum and talk at the same time. It's just, or chew and walk at the same time, I should say. And the same goes with this. I can't. Whenever I work, I just. Anyway, squirrel. So, where was I? Oh, so we go down there. I said it'd be the experience of a lifetime. Let's just go down there. We'll take the boat back. It can't be that hard. So we go down there. The first day, the weather was beautiful. It really was. The second day, the water was very rough. And probably the best way to describe it, you know when the astronauts, they put them in the airplanes and they bring them up so they can experience zero gravity? I'm going to try this one more time right now. Well, I can relate to it because When I was down in the cabin a few times, the waves were so bad that I actually felt, let's say this is the bottom of the boat and this is the top of the boat. I felt myself floating just with the waves going up and down. It was crazy, but it ended up being a beautiful trip. So, you know me, I could just babble, squirrel. My attention span is terrible. The reason why I'm telling you this is because the gentleman, he was right. You're 100% right with the 5.7. Let me bring you up here. You're 100% right with the 5.7 liter motors. But his was a twin big block, so that thing just drank gas, but it moved. So then I had gotten another comment. A gentleman who was talking about fuel, and he said, "Well, I have an airplane, and you can kind of relate to the fuel." So now let me tell you. Now I'm going to tell you a story about my airplane adventure. When I was 5 years old, I was having a birthday party. My grandmother died, and so the birthday party was canceled. And at 5 years old, it's like you don't realize the severity of losing a grandmother or anything like that. So to me, I was more upset that I didn't have my birthday party. So my grandmother was going to be buried where she was born. My grandmother was born in Puerto Rico. So we jump on a plane. As we're sitting on a plane, I actually see they're loading the coffin onto the plane, and it was just weird, I guess. As a kid seeing that, it was just like almost scary. So everything's all set. Plane takes off. We're all in our seats. It's just taking off. To me, it was just like a Dumbo ride at Disney World as we're taking off and everything. And then I'm noticing that there are people on the plane, and they're starting to get upset. They're crying, and it's just getting a little loud. So I asked my mom, I said, "What's going on? Why is everybody so upset?" She says, they're just, they're afraid, they don't fly a lot. So, you're 5 years old. Okay. I didn't know it. The plane actually caught on fire. When it took off, it actually turned back around and landed again. So I didn't realize the severity of that until I guess a little later on in life, to where I'm like, no, I don't like airplanes. So, for me to fly, I hate it. I don't like flying. There's two things that I don't like at all. I don't like flying, and I don't like bridges. So 90% of the cars that I generally get are up north because there's less bridges going up north. I know. It's just, I was always like that. Now, planes, forget it, But then again, I'm probably the safest person to be with because I've already experienced something that was almost tragic on an airplane. So I don't know if that's good luck or bad luck. But that's my story anyway. So we're going to let this dry, and give me a minute. We'll be right back, and we'll just sand this down real quick, and we'll see how it looks. All right? Right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's try to get this done. I'm going to fast forward this, okay? Here we go. All right, the dust has settled. It's all sanded down. There's a few little spots. I missed a little spot here. There's a little touch up right around there, and a hair down over there and here. Few little spots here and there, but this car is pretty much ready to go. Oh, hold on one second. I'm sorry. A few more spots, and it's pretty much. I mean, it's ready to go to the auto body shop a week ago, but I knew I had time, so I figured let me just tinker and tinker and tinker and slowly find the little low spots and everything. This way, when it goes to the body shop, I know if there's. I think that I got it pretty much to the point to where even if they missed everything else on the car, I think the car's still gonna look nice. So they're just an added plus of sanding the car down, sealing it, and everything like that. So, and after they do that, they'll still look for more, more little things here and there. So I think between me and the body shop, this car should look pretty straight when it comes back. I think the paint on the car is going to come out nice. So we'll see. But as always, I always try to keep it posted on what's going on with the projects that we're doing, and Lucky's getting there. Really, really, really getting it. I would say it's almost Lucky's almost there. So I mean, as far as tomorrow, I think tomorrow there's a few little low spots here and there, so we're going to tinker a little bit with it tomorrow to be a short day. And then it's just a matter of Joe giving me a call. And I wouldn't be surprised if Callie's ready right now. But it just worked out so well that I was able to take a run down to Virginia with my brother. It just worked out great. And I'm sure the first time that you saw my brother, you were probably like, oh my gosh, you guys are like twins. But believe it or not, my brother's a little bit bigger than me. So, I mean, I'm usually always the guy with the hat. So that should first probably give it away first, I guess. So, as always, I could babble all day long. You guys know that. But, I appreciate you guys watching. And you guys take care of yourselves. And have an awesome weekend.